Good morning, everyone. The chat already live, already popping. It's just me for a little bit. It's going to be fine. Don't worry. Deion's going to be here. Started 5 minutes late. Wanted to give him a little time. He's not feeling great, and he had to go secure some Red Bulls across the street from his crib. So he will be here very, very shortly. So you guys are stuck with a solo JK ISO for a little bit. The chat is already popping. Absolutely magnificent. We've got Rick and Caden beef. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Caden. I'm sorry that your twin is not here yet, Caden. He's on the way. Good morning, Denny. Even though you're praising my ops, I still love you. Welcome to our home major week. Absolutely. It's a good little buffer. Get that this week. Get a couple good movies coming out this week. Not really good, but entertaining. The A-list membership will be getting used. And then next week we get Super Bowl. And yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's not going to be as good of this next weekend's probably not going to be as good as this last one was. So Caden, Glorious King Dion, aka your Twinsky, he wasn't feeling good. So he asked if we start 5 minutes late. Told him we could. And then it was about 10:05. I was like, you want me to just solo it for a few minutes before you get here? And he was like, yeah, bro. He had to go cop some Red Bulls so he could make it through. He's under the weather. You know, it's the fog, those California conditions, they really get to you. LJH, Rick have insider information from Beijing. They want to talk to Fletcher's agent. There he is.
What up, Dale?
Don't have to worry anymore.
My bad, yo. I really don't feel good today.
His Red Bulls are secured. He's here. Yeah, Caden said, where's my glorious King Dion? So yeah, for starters, man, before we get into this just absolutely absurd weekend of college hoops, how was your weekend, man, besides not feeling good today?
Outside of that, I've had worse. Had to press cart for my W-9. If anyone wants like a little back end sleeper stuff, I had to press cart for my tax document. Was supposed to have it a week ago. Told him a week ago I'd like to get my taxes done this week. He said, I got you tomorrow. A week later, I had to shoot him not trying to be annoying. Where's my W-9 at? Text.
Not trying to be annoying, but I'd like to not have the IRS come after me.
Well, I had to cancel my first appointment because I didn't have it yet, and I didn't want to have to do that twice.
All right. Tweet is officially out. We're officially rocking.
There are rumors, just rumors. We might have a little confirmation for everybody tomorrow, but there is some rumors that I will be at Purdue, Michigan.
Oh, well, based off the knowledge I have of the situation, I would assume those rumors would probably become true.
Yes. The rumors.
That's all I'm going to say. Shout out our fearless leaders.
Fun. But yeah, there are some rumors I'll be at the Purdue, Michigan game.
Oh, fun time.
Okay, we're not paying federal taxes this year, Dion. I did tell Cart, like, my plan prior to him telling me we had to pay taxes, I wasn't planning to report any of this because it's just a Venmo payment. So there was, until about a month ago, I had no plans. But Cart told me that I had to. So shout out to him.
Yeah, it's been a weekend for many reasons. The biggest one will start. I don't know if we'll game by game or just start as a whole. But you see the title of the video. Like, Do we just group all these freshman performances into one talk, or like how do you want to approach this? Because that's
To be honest, I
probably
want a recap for two of them. So if you want an ISO for Dybantsa and Flemings,
oh yeah, I forgot. See, I just feel like that was probably the best single day performance for a freshman class in college basketball history, you know?
what's your current draft production for Wagler?
After that game, I mean, it's got to be lottery at worst, probably top 8. Realistically.
He just looks so interesting doing it.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily look fluid, but
Yeah.
then it's like he's 6'8" and can like do everything.
Yeah.
So what do you even do?
It's probably Lotto, but it just didn't have the same flow that AJ or Kingston did to me. It was more impressive though. What my dog AJ say? At Purdue? At Purdue?
Yeah,
if anybody hasn't seen the Ant Right edit, please go look at that. So funny.
But yeah, I mean, man, for starters, we really don't have to do a lot of Illinois and Purdue talk. We'll answer questions, but I do want to direct you to the 2-hour and 14-minute recap that I posted at 1 a.m. last night. If anyone really wants to see the full recap, dude, the funniest thing, we're Greg and Cart record. I get the full episode. They started at 8, so I get the full episode at like 9:30, get it scheduled. And Greg's like, we're about to start the Purdue Illinois recap. And I was like, this is going to be a good one. And then on the full episode, they were talking about how like the odds for this being the longest recap in Sleepers history were like minus 300. And Greg texts me at like 12 and he's like, loading the video into Google right now. This is the longest thing we've ever done. And then he sends it and I click on it. I was thinking maybe like an hour and 50. And then it was 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I was like, oh man, the fans are going to. And then the craziest part about it is 2 hours and 15 minutes at 1 a.m. and it had like 700 views in the first hour.
Much with Dion doing laundry before 7 a.m. is insane. Brother, I leave from here to go to work every day. So like I get about, on the days I do morning after, I get about 45 minutes to myself in between, you know, like shower, if I'm going to eat. Although like Purdue diet started today because I do have, I have plans for this like Purdue Michigan trip. If I go on it, I want to do a shooting contest against Fletch. And I want to play 2K against Braden. Now I'm only going to be there for 24 hours and respectfully, they're playing the biggest game of the season for like 20 of those 24 hours. So I'm not sure any of those things are going to happen, but Purdue diet started today. So I have to do laundry like mad early. I started it last night and then I like fell asleep like probably like 40 minutes in, so I'm about to go watch the rest of it. I normally listen to most of their stuff on the on my drives to work because I get like I have like a 40-50 minute drive to work.
Yeah, that's honestly that's kind of like, I feel like as you get older, when you're in your car or like doing things, when you're younger, it's always like you're listening to music. But as I've gotten older, it's like I'm gonna watch a video or put on a podcast.
Dion always stay falling asleep to sleep.
Dude, I love Caden's energy with you. All right, so I guess the number one thing here. Now, I want Rick and other Purdue fans in the chat here to be honest. What's the real pulse check? Because all I'm going to say is, like, I feel like everyone was Purdue fans, like we kind of talked about before with the expectations, were kind of like very defensive. And now it's like, all right, the flaws have been shown. So, like, what do y'all think the response is? I mean, if they are really a championship team, like, they're going to respond with like a little win streak here. But like, I thought this would be the game that they responded like a championship team.
There aren't many Waglers out there. We saw 2 other of them the same day.
I mean, it's like, I guess my thing is like, I understand if you want to say there aren't many, but here's the problem. The problem is the spot, right? It's like you just lost a 2-point game to UCLA on a West Coast trip. You're back home against an Illinois team down Kylan Boswell. That's like a spot that I expected Purdue to turn up in. Me and you both said it. We talked on the morning after and said we thought this would be a win for Purdue, especially without Boswell.
I think Houston just lost to a team Purdue beat by 30. Okay. I mean, I don't think Houston's winning the national title either.
I mean, Texas Tech also beat Duke. So
yeah, like I also don't think Houston's winning national title. I don't know, man. Like these are kind of like what I said the flaws with Purdue were, right? Like it's the defense, and it's respectfully like the way they play defense. It leaves you prone to a performance like this if the guy's good enough. Now, Pickle-Rick's correct. The Big Ten doesn't have a ton of Waglers. They just got
exactly,
So sure, but my point the whole time has been like I fear Purdue outside of the Big Ten. Like I don't fear Purdue like inside of the Big Ten. Like I think Purdue inside the Big Ten is fine, right? Michigan and Keaton Wagler present like the 2 differing skill sets that I think will cause them issues. And then I think the UCLA game was just like, whatever, who cares?
Yeah. That was just like West Coast weird like that wasn't.
Yeah. Like who cares? Like who cares about the UCLA one? But I do think that the Keaton Wagler game was a little telling. I think the Illinois game was, or excuse me, Iowa State game from a few months ago was a little telling, but I think switching's fine too, Connor. I actually do. Switching is like the best form of defense, in my opinion. Now, maybe at a certain point you stop switching. I think the problem is, in my opinion, with Purdue, you don't want to switch because you only have one person on the floor that actually like can check typically. So I think it's more so personnel than I think it is the switching. Now maybe like you should run a different defense if your switches get Clough, Fletch, TK, so on and so forth onto Keaton Wagler. I would listen to that argument, but I think I'm okay with the switching. It's just like I don't know. I don't think you have enough defensive talent to switch everything.
Yeah, I think like the other real issue is like, look, I like switching too because it's the same thing I always say about like Carolina, right? When you switch, you minimize the amount of rotations that need to be made. You keep people from getting lost, blowing coverages. Like it's a little easier to navigate when you aren't as good of a defensive team. The other big problem with Purdue right now is, dude, Braden is having to shoulder way too much of an offensive load, and he's not really getting anything. Like TKR just hasn't been good. I know the injuries are a concern. Like he's got to get back right. Fletcher's got to start hitting shots again because, I mean, yeah, TKR had 12 in this game. Omer had 11. Everyone else was in single digits, and Braden was like trying his hardest to hero ball the end of that game. He's just having to shoulder too heavy of a load. Like the offense has to get back in rhythm. I know he was 6 of 8 from the floor, Rick, but he's got to give more than 12. He's supposed to be the second best player on the team.
I think, yeah, I mean, you could put CJ on Wagler and switch everything else. Can we just say like their defense isn't good? Like I feel like the issue's been like, I think the issue is like the fan base, like because the teams are only scoring in the 60s, maybe 70s. Like we've wanted to like say that the defense is better than it is. That's a bad defensive team. And they've gotten away by also playing bad offensive teams, and it was a special Wagler performance.
Yeah.
It just was. Like, so sometimes dudes are going to do that to you, but I do think Purdue is more prone to that happening to them than anybody else, like, of the contenders. Like, I think it's much more likely somebody drops 40-something on Purdue than it is they drop 40-something on, like, Michigan State or Michigan. Connor said, where are you at with the Boilers? I think it's time for the fan base to lower expectation. Where are you at with Purdue, JK?
I still just, like, I know this probably sounds crazy, but I still just can't, like, I guess my thing is we've seen this core win games before to the point where, like, I can't fully be out. Like, yes, they've played back-to-back games where, like, a lot of flaws have been shown. But, like, at the end of the day, they still have Braden. Shooting variance tells me at some point Fletcher's going to hit again. TKR gets healthier. Like, I still think they're a
injury.
I think it's a hip thing, if I'm not mistaken. But I think the way I see Purdue, they're still a title contender, but instead of having them in that, like, first tier, they're probably at the top of the second tier for me now.
Who's in the first tier?
I think my first tier is, like, Arizona, Michigan, Duke, and maybe that's it. I mean, who else would it? I mean, I don't really know who else would even be in it. I mean, if you want to say UConn because of Hurley, that's fine. But I don't think UConn's better than Purdue, really. I mean, I don't. I
gotta be honest. I think I'd have Houston in the first tier.
Yeah,
instead of Duke.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
I agree with Connor.
I just think, like, I mean, trust me, I don't want to say Duke, but, like, I mean, I just feel like Boozer always wins, and, like, we'll see if Duke beats Michigan, they're definitely in that first tier.
Sure, I think Houston. I mean, yeah, they lost to Tech, but
Tech's just playing really good. It was at Tech, and Tech had a stellar offensive first half.
Yeah, I like the way Houston's playing right now. The ball isn't in Milos's hands, and it's that is, like, a good thing.
It's kind of listen. I hope you guys are right about Duke. Trust me, I don't want him to be a contender. Literally hate Duke. I'm just trying to be honest here. I don't think Duke is nowhere. Like, honestly, if we're being real, it's probably more like Arizona and Michigan. Then there's a second tier that's like Houston, and I don't know. It's going to be. See, Hyena, yeah, I think if I was going to say anything else, it'd probably be that, Michigan and Arizona. But no, like, it's kind of the same thing, like, with Purdue. It's all right, Rick. I'm going to let everyone just keep having that opinion. We've been supposed to get ran the last 3 rounds, so we'll see.
I don't think anybody thought you were going to lose to Stidham.
Oh, brother, I'm telling you, you got to tap into the media, man. We were going to lose to Houston, LA, Denver.
Yeah, I don't know. Who? Like, what was the run?
The run?
Chargers, Houston, Stidham, right?
Yeah, first quarterback in NFL history to beat 3 top 5 defenses in a single playoff run.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thought you were. I don't think anybody thought you were losing to the last 2. I mean, I'd listen.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The Houston game was bad. Everyone said we were gonna lose that game.
I'd listen to you on the first one, or maybe I'd give you, like, one of the Chargers or Texans,
because the whole entire thing was like Texans' best defense since 2000 Ravens. No one's beating them, yada yada.
Like I said, I'd give you one of the Chargers Texans games.
But I also think it's like we got to stop the Seahawks stuff because, like, they've done the opposite. They haven't seen a good defense in like 5 weeks.
Yeah, I think the Pats and Seahawks problem. I don't think either defense is that good.
See, here's the real thing. The other problem is, and this is the last thing because I'll get on a tangent. Drake May in year 2, is he likely to shit himself in the Super Bowl? Yes, but you know who else is likely to shit himself in the Super Bowl? Sam Darnold. So I'll take my chances against him instead of Matt Stafford.
I don't think the Pats defense is good, and I really don't think the Seahawks defense is good.
I think the Pats – I think they're honestly – see, I think the Seahawks do have a good defense. I don't think it's anywhere near Houston or Denver's.
Pickle Rick said, what would you guys do if you're Matt Painter with the defense?
I mean, I think honestly the answer is probably what got said earlier. Like, keep fresh legs with Jakari, CJ, and try to freaking just pressure the ball up the court. Kind of like that's what you see a lot of bad defensive teams do, right? Like, I know this is another NBA example, but like the Pacers, they're not a good defensive team. So what do? They rotate guards and they pick up full court, pressure the ball full court. Like we said, switch everything to limit rotations and not get guys. And I mean, sure, if you get Clough on it, like I'm just always going to be of the opinion. Like, I know Keaton just had a crazy opinion, but like, or a crazy game, but like, I'm going to take my chances with guys in college on an island one-on-one trying to beat me. I'm just going to do that every time.
Yeah.
It's tough. Unless you want to like start blitzing. I don't know. Unless you want to like ice screens or I just think sometimes the personnel, there's a cap. You know, like how good can they really be defensively?
I would hide Braden. I know no one wants to hear that, but that's what I would probably do. I think I would stop asking him to check, if I'm being honest. And I would save his energy for offense. One, and I'm about to fly to Purdue, Michigan, so like, I don't know. I don't think he's a high ceiling defender, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't think he's not somebody I would want on the Keaton Waglers of the world. Not that he was, right? But like, that's just so like, if he has to shoulder this offensive load and he's not like the most plus defender in the world, just do what NBA teams do and hide him, right? Allow him to just stand in the corner with somebody, keep his legs for the other side, and let him go crazy on offense. And I think that's likely what I would do. The honest answer, I've said it a million times, and it's something like you guys don't really like, not you guys, but like, well, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, like, yeah, some of the Purdue fans in here too. Don't want to hear. I don't think Purdue has the athletes, but like that's really what I've been saying since the Iowa State game. I just don't think Purdue has the athletes, and so everything has to go perfectly game plan wise. But when you get a freakish performance, kind of like what Wagler did last night, Purdue's pretty susceptible to stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do with the defense because like you really any given moment have one good defender on the court.
Yeah, I think it's like your personnel gets maxed out. It just does. Like there's only so much you can do. So obviously we have some big ones. I don't feel like, Dybantsa's 40 ball was sick, but like BYU's supposed to beat Utah. The big one for them is tonight. BYU Arizona is going to be so fun. Can't wait to watch that. And we get Duke Louisville, and then tomorrow we get Michigan Nebraska. So great way to start the week. How did you feel? All right, this is I guess we know Keaton had in my opinion, the best 40 ball of them all, especially with how Dybantsa reacted. Like he did it at Purdue against a really good team. Was Kingston or AJ's 40 piece more impressive to you?
Kingston. For sure.
Yeah. Is it bad to say that I almost like expected AJ to have a 40 piece this year?
Yeah. Pickle Rick said 3 Indiana's died. That's not true. I'm just telling you guys like what I've been saying since the Iowa State game, right? Like these are things like when I said it, everybody kind of like ripped me and was like, oh, well, like watch, Michigan's going to lose. And then Michigan lost to Wisconsin, and it was like, gotcha. And like Michigan losing to Wisconsin didn't change anything about Purdue, unfortunately. So I don't know, man. Like I don't know. It is what it is. It sucks. As you know, like 3 units, it does suck, but like I don't think it's dead, because this is the element of the Purdue national title hopes that like no one talks about. If they get to Indy, they're playing 2 home games for a national title. Like that's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. So I definitely don't think it's dead, but it does feel like, hey, here's your best chance, and you don't have the athletes. And now here's what I will say is dead. I'm not going into the offseason pretending next year's team is good. I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm not gonna go into the offseason unless like some portal additions are made, pretending like Jack Benter, Daniel Jacobson, and Omer Meyer is a big 3 that like I would want. Like that's what I probably won't do. Now if they get Clough back, maybe if they get some portal additions, maybe. And honestly, like G always tells me, like, watch, Luke Earl is just gonna like come out of nowhere, and it's like that does add up for Purdue, right? Where like Luke Earl just out of nowhere is like a 20-point per game scorer. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but like on paper right now, Purdue feels like outside of the top 5 in the Big Ten next year. They really do.
Yeah, I think like, and I understand like, when you've got paint and you've got that like culture that he's created, it's kind of like you expect it almost a little bit Michigan State-esque, right? Where it's like, no matter what, he's going to figure it out. They're going to compete. But like what they're about to lose is just, it's a lot. And that's where it's like, man, I mean, it's really hard to replace that level. I don't know. I mean, maybe, Braden told the people on Running Point about how good Antoine West is. Who knows? I mean, it's like, I just think it's very hard. Like, even with Fletch and TKR not playing the best lately, like when you lose Braden and Fletch and TKR, that's just hard.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying I don't believe what Braden's saying. I'm not even saying I don't believe Luke Ertl's amazing. Pickle Rick's correct. He just had a triple-double. And he's also correct. Everyone said the same thing after Edie left. The guys we're relying on haven't shown it.
Also, Edie's one guy. They're not just losing one guy.
They're losing 3. And to be fair, like Braden looked really good after, like, with Edie. So yeah. I think the biggest difference is we watched the guys that were replacing Edie on this stage, and we're like, yo, those dudes are really good. I'm not saying Antoine West won't just like fill in like the shoes immediately and be like the leading scorer the way Braden said he would, because he really might. But like, it's just hard for me to visualize that when we haven't seen it. Jack Benter, maybe too, but like what we're seeing Benter do right now is very much so like everything's being created for him. Who's going to do that next year? Omer doesn't look good. like that's a big problem too, right? Like we're acting as if like this is like Omer's just going to have this massive leap, which hopefully he does. Everybody knows I'm a big Omer guy, but Omer has not looked good this year.
No. And honestly, it's crazy because he was like the 3rd best guy in the Illinois game.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good against Illinois.
So that just kind of shows you, and I think like that kind of shows you the issue we're talking about. Like you got to get more from your guys, because Omer was way too important in that game. Like I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I saw a chat earlier amidst all of the Purdue talk. I just didn't want to interrupt it. I don't know if my guy for UNC's here, but I got to answer this. Did UNC turn a corner at UVA, or was it a fluke? I think somewhere in the middle. I don't think it was a fluke. I can't say it's turning the corner. They had a good week. They blew out a team they were supposed to blow out. They won at Virginia, which has been a hard thing for UNC to do over the years. I'm not going to say like they fully turned the corner or anything like that because it's just one game. But I mean, I will say them being down 15, hitting 2 threes to cut it to 9 at the half. I thought, and I even tweeted this, I was like, all right, we got to stop the whole we want to play for Hubert thing and then come out and give no effort. Because when you want to play for a coach, you give effort for that coach, and they weren't doing it. And then in the second half, they were like inspired and playing with effort. So, like, if the second half version of UNC becomes the full game version of UNC, then I will say they turned the corner. But they're still way, way, way too prone to these just low energy, slow, shitty starts. And like, it's just, I don't know. I'm just not ready to say. Now they're going to have a few. The problem is we're really not going to know if they've turned the corner because like Georgia Tech, not really. We're not going to know until next week because Georgia Tech and Syracuse will be wins. We'll know if they've quote unquote turned the corner based on how they play the Duke game. That's when we're really going to know. If they lose by 20, absolutely not. It's going to be interesting to see. And I agree with that, Hayne. I think they're a top 15 to 20 team. I don't think they're a top 10 team, but I think they're like a 18 to 20 range team.
I mean, I think it depends on what your definition of turn the corner is. I mean, they're 29th on KenPom. I think there's some. I think if they are ranked, I think they're in that 20 to 25 range. I don't think they're a top 15 team. I don't even think they're top 20. So I don't know. I mean, listen. It depends on what your definition of turn the corner is. Like, I think in terms of style of play, I like the way they played on Saturday. You know, I don't think Virginia's that good either.
Yeah, I think Virginia is kind of like, I think the part that was different about this one to me was like Virginia came out and like got their open threes and they hit, and usually that's been the situations where like UNC folds, they start to give up even more open looks, they get lazy, they get slow. There's no effort on either side of the ball. And then somehow they turned it around. I don't know what was said in the locker room, but I thought the game was over. I mean, literally, I was like, oh, yeah, here we go. Down 9 at Virginia, no life. And then, yeah, I mean, it really is going to come down to like, I think the other reason it did impress me was like they won and Henry Visar maybe played his worst game of the year. He was so bad in that game. Couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll see. I'm looking at the Purdue stuff again. Connor says Omer, Cox, Spencer, DJ is a great core 4 for the next 2 years. So, like, I agree because you're lowering your expectations, though, Connor. That's why I agree. But I don't agree in general. But, like, if your expectation is Purdue to be top 25, yeah, I think those 4 players are fine. But, like, that's why I think there's so much pressure on the team this year, though. Because this is it, right? Like, this is the moment. This is everything. This is what you're, like, this is the year to get it done because that's the core 4, like, next year at the same time. So that I don't know. Like I do agree based upon what your expectations for next year are, but like I also think that's why there's so much pressure on this year's team too. Akil says Bender's going to be gone. Yeah, I don't think Bender's leaving. I don't think Bender's leaving. I don't think anybody from this Purdue 2 years can contend again. I think, yeah, maybe that second year. If you get 3 years out of Homer and then you have the rest as like seniors, I think maybe. Along with like sophomore Ertl, I guess that would be like redshirt sophomore Antoine West. Yeah, I can maybe see that. I think next year is going to be a pretty steep drop off.
Yeah, next year's almost like a trial of like, all right, which guys are like our guys? Because I mean, the thing about someone like Painter is, and this is where like that program identity and culture sets in. It's like guys go to Purdue for the most part. Now there's some that don't, but most guys go to Purdue with the expectation that like I'm playing here for multiple years, portal era or not. So I almost think next year is like we're gonna, not saying they won't compete at all. I'm just saying like they'll feel out what exactly they have with these guys, and they'll make adjustments as needed. They might hit the portal for a few guys, and then I do agree that third year is where it really starts to like get back into shape.
If Paint doesn't get one this year, does he ever? My answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's with all the freaking movement in today's game, like it's hard to say, but like I would also lean that Purdue's bringing Carson Edwards back next year. Oh man,
Connor said next year's another 4 seed, Sweet 16 type team. Yeah, I just don't see how that team gets to the second weekend. Maybe the 4 seed portion, but I really don't see how that team gets to the second weekend next year. But I'm also saying all this. I have no idea who's on what team next year either. So, that
just,
also factors.
and I understand like the whole Edie. I guess this is my thing. The difference for me, because Rick made the point earlier. It's like, well, they didn't just lose Edie. All right, Mason Gillis was a glue guy. Yes, he was glued to the bench at Duke because he wasn't good enough to play on that team. And then you lost Lance. Lance was a big loss. I'll give you that. But Lance is still not. Let's compare. All right, you compare Braden and Edie, right? Those are like your two National Player of the Years that you're losing. Okay, fine. If you don't think losing Fletcher and TKR's impact is up here compared to losing like Lance and Gillis down here, it's not even close, man. And I don't even think that's disrespectful to them. Like, Fletch and TKR have been starters and like all Big Ten guys. Like, it's just, I don't know. I just don't even think it's comparable. Yeah, the Michigan State's recruiting class next year is insane. No, I understand that Edie has been like the GOAT of modern college basketball, but like it's still just one dude compared to three humongous. Like, I don't know.
I just think that the trio of Braden, TK, and Fletch is just a lot better than the people you're replacing these three guys with. It's not necessarily Edie versus Braden for me.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily like disrespecting Edie in terms of the GOAT. It's more so like the guys we're expecting to step up, I just don't think are as good as these guys were when Edie was leaving. I just don't think it's remotely close. If Braden looked like the guy like we're seeing now, while Edie was there, right? Like sophomore year Braden with Edie in that national title run, they were the two best players on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like you were taking a Braden Smith and being like, hey, you're going from the second best player on the team to the best player on the team now, right? TK and Fletch were also starters on that team, right? So you're asking a bunch of guys who, in my opinion, in Omer at times looks borderline unplayable. Daniel Jacobson, who respectfully is backing up a guy we just watched get torched on Saturday. CJ and Jakari, that CJ is the interesting one to me. I think CJ is not getting enough credit. Like CJ could be special. Benter is being asked to take a massive role. So like Connor, I don't disagree with you. I think Edie is amazing. Was amazing at Purdue. But the guys we replaced Edie with are so much better than the guys we're about to replace these three. So I don't know. Like it's you're asking for such like a much bigger step up in performance.
Braden and Fletcher started as true freshmen. That's the difference to me.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's a knock on Edey to say that losing 3 guys where like 2 of them are borderline All-Americans. Well, one is an All-American, the other one's borderline. And then they're all like all Big Ten guys. I don't think it's crazy to say, like, I just don't think it's crazy to say that they're losing more. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I think it's fair.
I think 2 things can be true, Connor. That's a fair statement. Edey is way tougher to replace than this core is, but the replacements were already on the team. That's the difference. Like, the replacements were already playing high-level college basketball. Like, who's doing that from the guys that you're about to replace? You know, so I think it's it's just tough. You went, and when Edey left, you only had to replace 2 starters. You're literally going to have to replace, I guess, 3, maybe 4, depending on the Clough 5th-year situation. And then you can keep CJ in the starting lineup. But like, it to me, it's not so much comparing Edey versus Braden, TK, and Fletch. It's going into your junior year, Braden, TK, and Fletch versus Omer, Daniel Jacobson, Jakari, and Jack Benter. I don't know how you could even compare those 2 cores.
Yeah. It's Dion is an IU fan. Oh man, Purdue's got a good bounce back opportunity against them. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. I understand the morale being down for sure, but like also feel like the flaws were kind of always showing, and if you like really rock with that trio and paint, like I think you got to trust they figure it out. Like at some point they're going to get going again. That's kind of the mindset I feel like you have to have if you're a Purdue fan, because that's kind of like, you know, Akil. Anyways, can't wait to win at Mackey.
Akil's a Michigan State fan.
Yeah. Also, I mean, yeah, they 91-48 is crazy. I can't lie.
Oh, what they did to Oregon?
To Maryland.
Which
Maryland's bad. Don't get me wrong.
It's
but
a bad team.
91-48 in a conference game is pretty nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels like it's setting up for Michigan State, like winner take all at the moment.
It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. Anyone have any other stuff before we head out of here in the chat or Dion that y'all want to talk about? It's also funny. I'm thinking we might need to rebrand to like a Purdue centric name, because everyone that's active in the chat is a Purdue fan.
Nah, I think the rebranding, if we were to rebrand, might be from 7 to 7:15 start time. To be honest with you, there's just so many more people in the chat from 7:15 to 7:45, or what would that be? 10:15 to 10:45.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I need to talk to Greg about it, because like I know 10 to 11 is like the quote unquote dead spot, but like also, I mean, I've been doing work, posting stuff in the background this whole time, so like I could do stuff while we do it. I feel like if we started at 10:30 and went to 11, it would like 100% maximize it.
Yeah, we could do that, and then that allows you to post their like first round of videos before, and then they would be recording the second round of videos while we're on here.
Yeah, and plus, like, now that I have a PC and I'm not on a laptop, like, I can actually export stuff in the background while I'm on the live stream. So it's a very great development. Also,
Akil
the
said, "Oh my bad."
the Purdue Illinois recap has 4,000 views currently, 343 likes, and this is the funniest part: 164 comments.
Jesus. What do you know when the next Reddit point is?
Not yet. I would imagine. So it was supposed to be Friday, and then got scheduled to after the Illinois game. Now I don't know, like I feel like we're in a weird spot right now where like Greg and Carter don't want to like press it. If I had to guess, I'd probably say Wednesday.
Oh.
After the Indiana game, that'd be my guess.
Akil said, "Who's won for y'all between AJ and DP?"
That's tough.
That's tough. I got AJ because of like the style of play in the NBA, and I just think he fits it. But I think Darren. I get why people think Darren's the better player. Darren might be the best like basketball player I've ever seen. Like straight up. But I don't know. Like AJ's just a 6'10" wing, right? Like if you're building an NBA roster, that's what you want over a guard. But listen, Darren literally might be the best basketball player we've ever seen, man. And this dude is nuts.
Absolutely. Yeah, see, I'm gonna rock with AJ just because I've been saying it that he's my number one all year long. But here's the counter. The counter to Darren over AJ is that, dude, Darren's already got this load management shit figured out, bro. So like he might be the one.
I'll be honest, if I'm the Pacers, like, I mean, there's no way they do this, but if I was the Pacers, I'd see what you could get for Halliburton and take Darren.
Oh, you're gonna send Rick into an absolute.
I'd see what you could get, right? Like, if you could swing something nuts, like what if you were able to swing Halliburton for Giannis?
Oh yeah, and then pair him with DP.
Yeah,
I guess their counterpoint would be like, yeah, but we already have the guard. So if we get AJ, then it's just like AJ, Siakam. See, I think AJ and Siakam, you start to get a little redundant.
Yeah, I think you have to. I think you have to move Siakam no matter what. I think this is no matter what you do.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
But I think at most, and I love Halliburton. At most, we're 2 to 3 years away from Darren Peterson being better than Halliburton. At most.
Yeah, I could see that.
At most. Like,
I mean, and I don't even think that's really a slight to Halliburton. Like, I genuinely just think Darren is like generational.
Yeah. Darren Peterson's going to be the best guard in the NBA in his rookie contract.
Like, Darren is literally like better Ant. Like, I don't know. I mean, basically, that's the way to put it.
He's going to be the best guard in the league, like early in his career. You know what I mean? So, like, if you could get the best player in the league, in my opinion, in Giannis, why not? And who has a better offer than Halliburton?
So,
and you get off the guy coming off an Achilles injury too. Like, there's a bunch of reasons to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. For sure. I can't wait. This draft's going to be fun, man. There's a lot of different ways this could go. All right, one last thing before we get out of here. I think it's a perfect way to end it because of the freshman performances. Who is your favorite guy outside of the – I guess we'll consider this that top group. Outside of the AJ – Darren Boozer group, who is your like guy in this draft?
Acuff,
yeah.
I'd rather have Acuff. It's not going to happen, but give me Acuff over Flemings and Wagler. I don't think it's close, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think my guy, I do like Acuff a lot, but I'm not going to lie. My guy was Michael Brown before the injury stuff started happening. So
he's back tonight, right?
I think if he's back, I'm a rock with Michael.
I don't know if he's back, but I know he's playing tonight.
So yeah, that's it's interesting. And I can tell you my not guy is Nate Amen. I just don't see a world where I'm ever going to be like a Nate Amen guy.
See, I think Amen has a ridiculous ceiling.
No, yeah. See, I think his ceiling is so high, so I understand people drafting him. But to me, right now, he's just like worse Ricochet.
Sure, but I think his ceiling is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, his ceiling is like
ridiculous.
Tatum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I see more KD than Tatum just from because I think like Tatum's got a much smoother game, and like I think Amen has like size and athleticism type of deal. But like to me, Tatum is more. AJ and Tatum are a little bit more similar. AJ's like a more above the rim version of Tatum.
Bro, Caden is on one in the chat today.
Koa Pete is undervalued at the moment.
I do like
what is
Koa.
it like? Well, where is Koa Pete supposed to go? I guess would be my question.
Yeah, I think Koa Pete is like if he goes to the right situation, and I don't know what is Koa right now. Maybe like bottom half of the top 12.
If he's bottom half of the top 12, I think that's fine. To me, he's like Carter Bryant. The problem, but like I hate to be that guy. I don't think Carter Bryant's worked well. So I think that's why you get a little bit of undervalue in Koa Pete.
Yeah, I honestly think the issue with Koa Pete, and obviously this is on a much bigger scale, but I think the issue with Koa Pete is the same reason people or a lot of draft guys are showing caution on Cam Boozer, right? Because it's like, and Boozer's better than Pete. No disrespect to Pete, he just is. But the reason people are hesitant on Boozer is because they're like, well, his skill set, he's like 6'9", 6'10", bully ball. I think Koa Pete is pretty similar to that, but on a slightly lesser talented version. And I think that's why so many people are like kind of undervaluing him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Because I don't know. I mean, it's just really hard with guys like Koa Pete and Cam Boozer because like they definitely have their flaws and everything, and then like they just win at every level of basketball they play.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Koa Pete, he's Carter Bryant to me. Carter Bryant's not working, so.
Yeah, I get that.
That's where I'm at with Koa Pete. Like, I think he's great for Arizona. If Arizona's not your national title favorites right now, I don't know what you're doing. But like, if we're talking about from an NBA scale, like, yeah, if Carter Bryant isn't working, why would I want to put all my eggs in the Koa Pete basket?
Very true. All right, guys. Nice long Monday show for you guys. Bunch of content up on the channel. All the Purdue fans, I expect all of you to watch all 2 hours and 15 minutes of the Purdue-Illinois recap. No excuses. I believe, I don't know if it starts tomorrow, but there was a deal put in place yesterday for Riley to do Tuesdays now instead of Wednesdays. So I'm assuming that starts tomorrow. Don't know if it does. You'll see Riley tomorrow, and I'll be back Wednesday. And yeah.
Still working out the hammer details. I probably should shoot him a text.
Yeah, that might be a solid idea. Maybe we hit like Riley Tuesdays, Hammer Thursdays.
When I spoke, when Hammer and I were speaking after recording this, he was like, I'm down to do it once or twice a week. Like, it wasn't like I'll be here once. Like, he was down to do it multiple times a week.
What would really be sick, too, is if it became like a Hammer Friday thing or something. And then occasionally you get like you Hammer and Greg, you Hammer and Carl. Like that'd be sick.
I gotta text him. He said he was gonna talk to G about it, but I'll shoot him a text too to see like if there's any days he wants to do this week type of thing. And you know, I guess Riley will probably be on Thursday because Riley and I are doing the full day Thursday, which we'll see the reaction to that. And then I'll see if Hammer wants to come on maybe Friday with me and Cart.
Love that plan. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful start to your week. If you're in the ice storm, hope your roads clear up stay safe. And Dion, stay safe in that fog, man. I know you got the trials and tribulations out there in Cali.
Starting to clear up.
Also, feel better, man. Feel better. All right. We'll see y'all.